Hey love, welcome to the ChiLove radio show, Pop Radio Worldwide, iHeartRadio, and Spotify Premium. We back home. How y'all doing, loves? Join us today as we will continue to talk about taking the mask off. And this week, we will be focusing on our relationships with others.
Start over, honey. Hold on. I want your mic on. Keep talking. Mic check, mic check.
Hey love, it's ChiLove.
Mic check.
ChiLove.
Mic check.
It's ChiLove.
Beautiful. Got you.
All right.
Give it to me now.
Hey love, welcome to the ChiLove radio show. It's your girl Melanie on Pop Radio Worldwide, iHeartRadio, and Spotify Premium. Welcome home, loves. I hope your Monday went well. Join us today as we continue to talk about taking the mask off. Last week we were dealing with the self. This week we will deal with our relationships with others. Stay tuned. It's all love and ChiLove. Hey love, welcome to the ChiLove radio show. It's your girl Melanie here on Pop Radio Worldwide, iHeartRadio, and Spotify Premium. I hope y'all had a great Monday. I hope your weekend went well. If it didn't, you still survived. You still here. We're here together. We'll get through it together. So, this is 2020 and we talking about taking the mask off.
Mask off.
Last week, we talked about going over a specialized care plan for yourself for the things that you have to address within. This week, we are going to talk about our relationships with others because that's important as well. But before we get off into that, I want to announce the business of the week picked by ChiLove Radio. B Ladies Custom Design by Ron B. R-O-N-B-E, Ron B. B Ladies Custom Design. This man literally designs his shoes and purses by hand. It is worth it. Check him out. He's a great fellow. It's all love and ChiLove. Shout out to Ron B at B Ladies Custom Design. And we're going to announce the mentor of the week, Mr. Ira Thomas. He was picked to be the mentor of the week today because of his inspirational post that I'm constantly, he's one of my Facebook friends, so he got picked by being one of my Facebook friends. And his post was so inspirational, just like consistently, and they're empowering and they're in alignment to what ChiLove is about. So everyone congratulate Ira Thomas for being the ChiLove Radio Mentor of the Week. Congratulations, love. Hey Aaron, Latoya, and Vincent. I want to tell you all what's going on in the Chi. Now, I'm pretty sure we all know about Kiera Coles, the missing pregnant postal worker. We still have not found her. Her family still has unanswered questions. So let's not let her memory die. We don't know what's going on. Let's keep our eyes open, keep our ears open. If you know something, say something. Put yourself in their family's shoes and contact the proper authorities so that we can give their family some type of peace. So let's not, once the media goes away and the steam of it starts to die down, there's still a person. So let's not forget. Let's continue to say our prayers for Kiera Coles and her family. And if you know any information that could help, please come forth. Thank you. Also, low-income students can attend the University of Chicago if your income is $125,000 or less. The low-income students can attend the University of Chicago for free. The Illinois Hawks has openings and tryouts with scholarships available for those who want to play and enroll their children in hockey. Check out the DePaul Art Museum. I also had to shout it out because I'm an alumni, so ChiLove salute. Also, check out the Swain Sessions podcast his merch store has now opened. So check that out. He's very current about culture and hip hop, connected to his God self. It's all love and ChiLove. So shout out to the Swain Sessions podcast. So we were talking about taking the mask off, revealing who we really are, tuning in to who we really are, finding ourselves, returning to our original selves. That's really what it is. We're not really going outside of ourselves. We're returning to our original selves, and doing it with the notion of an onion, to peel back layer by layer and address each layer as needed. So when we work on that, those type of things within ourselves, we also have to make sure that we have people around us that's in positive vibrational energy. And we're going to talk about that in a moment. I'm going to let that marinate. And I want you all to stay tuned to the ChiLove radio show. I'll be here on Pop Radio Worldwide, iHeartRadio.
Honey, you're coming right back. I just need 2 seconds because we started early, so I can't pass them. Remember we started a little early?
Yeah.
I done did a lot. You ain't did shit at all.
Welcome back to the ChiLove radio show. It's your girl Melanie Hogan, Pop Radio Worldwide, iHeartRadio on Spotify Premium. And we're talking about analyzing relationships and taking the mask off within your relationships. Whether it's romantic, whether it's family related, whether it's business, just association, your relationships with others. That is very vital. It's just as vital as your relationship with yourself. And it actually should be reflective to a certain point. So after we have done the work within ourselves, because yes, it is so easy to point out the flaws in others. It is so easy to identify what somebody has done to us. It's easier than really doing that self-reflection and identifying what role, if any, that you're playing in the situation, even if it's in allowing, enabling. So what we should do is identify our people. Who do we call our people? Why is this person or these people our people? Is it because we've known each other 20, 25 years from the block?
Come on.
We didn't, we grew up together. We used to do this together. We know some secrets that shouldn't get out. Have we outgrown our people? Is our souls yearning for us to outgrow certain people? It's telling you that it's not that, and we don't even have to say they're not your people, because love is love. And however you came together, you came together. But what you have to realize is that you were here for a specific purpose. And in order to get to that ordained point, everybody on your journey is not going to reach that pinnacle with you. So we have to start to identify who our people are. And while we're saying, okay, this is my man to them, that's my girl, is he your man to them? Do he feel like you his man? Do she feel like you're her girl? It's important to, do some updates with each other and pick a person's mind to see, what do they even think about you? Do you have people around you who are helping you but hurting you? Which means that they're supplying a certain need or desire that you may have, even if you don't consciously realize that you have it. Everybody is where they are for a reason. So they're supplying their need or their desire, but at the same time, you're being abused some type of way, you're being neglected some type of way, you're being demeaned. Do they look at you as you are a worthy person or a project? Something to boast about their image. They're saving you. When you say that you are going to set certain goals for yourself, are they encouraging you? Are they giving you tips? Are they sending you referrals? Are they supporting what it is that you're trying to do? Or are they laughing you off and saying that you crazy for even having the idea? Do you have the type of relationships to where if that person is in need, you will stop doing what you're doing or make sure that you get to them as soon as possible? But if there was a situation where you were in need and they were able to help, they don't come to you? Do you have relationships to where you're there for a person, but then when something occurs in your life, they kind of fade to the background and then slide back in when stuff is starting to look up again for you? Who is it that we have in our lives? Are we allowing ourselves to be treated a certain way because we were always treated that way, even though your soul is telling you that this is not in alignment to my highest elevation and my highest good? Now, there are growing pains, and yes, they hurt. So you have to use your discernment to know the difference between the two. But it's the difference between somebody challenging you to grow and somebody abusing you. Do you have certain people in your life because you don't want to be alone? This one of the, holla, don't get no hotter than Chirac. But a lot of stuff is defense mechanisms, aren't they? The message of us not being safe as a city is because we don't feel safe as a people. Some people live by mantras of, I'm going to get you before you get me, not even realizing they wasn't even on the menu for getting gat. But because they don't feel safe. So what type of people do we have around us? And everybody has something that they're working on. So with some people, you gotta have a little more patience. You might have to restructure how you're doing things. And some people, you gotta cut them out. Are these person's actions something that I asked my sons to do, and my daughters, but it's especially I've had this conversation with my sons when he, has his little new sets of people or whatever. Okay, you dig them? Yeah. Okay. So I want you to think back to when these people first started to come into your life and impact your energy. And I want you to look at, are you getting in more trouble messing with these little boys? Or are you actually finding yourself engaging in healthy developmental activities? Do you find yourself growing as a young man, as a young guy? And it's something that I give them to say, and I know the answer. but you want that child to know the answer. You want the person to know the answer. And the proof is in the pudding. the behaviors, the results, the effects of their energy and interaction and influence around. What type of people do we have around us? Are we being calmed by the wolf in sheep's clothing? And there's a certain way around you, and behind your back it's a whole nother story? Who is it that we have impacting our energy? I want y'all to marinate on that. But don't go nowhere, because I'll be right back with the ChiLove Radio Show on Pop Radio Worldwide, iHeartRadio, and Spotify Premium. But check out your people. Hey, Lucas. Hey, Jacinthia. Hey, Danica. Hey, Julian, Oliver, Starchild, Crystal, Sean, Ed, Nina. Hey, y'all. Melvin. ChiLove and ChiLove. We'll be right back.
I done did a lot. You ain't did shit at all.
Hey, love. Welcome back to the ChiLove Radio Show, Pop Radio Worldwide, iHeartRadio, and Spotify Premium. We're talking about taking the mask off in 2020, and now we were talking about taking the mask off of self first. You always must start with self. And now we're talking about taking the mask off of the relationships, the different types of relationships that we have. What we are allowing to feed our spirit. And you know, somebody that you're intimate with on a sexual, emotional, mental level, all of that is energy transfer. People that you just come in contact with a lot, and you're just in each other's energy. All of that is important because you're transferring. Somebody's receiving something. And yes, you can do work to transmute energy, but my goodness, we'll have to go through all of that if you just try to set up your foundation of people. That's why a lot of us are actually going through a lot of things, and you have people that you call your people, but you can't tell some of your people certain things, because honey, they gonna talk about you and drag you like a dog, but them your people. So when you get situations like that to where you need to reevaluate who you have around you. You're trying to make adjustments and improvements in your life. And you may not know exactly where you're going, but you know that you're not staying here. And listen to yourself, because your soul will call out. Your body will have physical responses to what's good for you and what's not good for you. Evaluate your people. If you have relationships where you feel like you owe a person, you know that this person not really good, but you owe them. Maybe they saved your life back in the day or something. If it has become unhealthy, you can still look out and make sure a person is good. What 50 say? He come through and say, what's up, but I don't with you. You can make sure a person, all is well, all is well. I remember what you did for me. I appreciate that. All is well. And go on about your business. You got people around you who tease you at the idea of you trying something different. We are not one-dimensional. It's not supposed to be a humanoid situation. You're going to grow in life. That's what we were meant to do. Evolve. Continuously evolve. And we have to learn to start to grow on a personal note and grow with others. Or allowing them to grow. Who is it that we have? And then let's say, overall, because like I said, everybody got little ways about them. You know, everybody's conditioned their own ways. Everything is not to just discard a person out of your life. But say you got everything going good. What about when it's not going good? What about the disagreements? That's very important. How do you handle the disagreements? As long as you're giving a person what they want and everything is going well, of course everything is going to, you know, be copacetic. What about in the event of a disagreement? Does abuse, does it become abusive? Do the disagreements become abusive? Are you tearing each other down? Have you forgotten that you even have love for a person, let alone respect? And especially with somebody that you say that you love, is there not a limit? Is there not a boundary set on how far you will go in your anger? Somebody said, the closest ones to you get hurt the worst. That's what? And I understand that. I understand it, but at the same time, because you loving this person so much, I'm just not going to advocate for you to just go out in the street and whoop a stranger. But I'm saying before you hurt the person that's the closest to you, you know what I'm saying? Somebody should got to catch it. It sure shouldn't be the one who gets you hard. Some of y'all kids catching it. Mates catching it. Parents catching it. Siblings catching it. And then some of y'all got the audacity not even to stand with that same type of energy on some stuff that's supposed to be addressed. But see, that's all poor coping mechanisms. And truly, you know that the person that you're hurting that loves you, you know that they love you, so they don't really want to hurt you back. But never put a person in a position so where they feel like they have to choose either themselves or you. Our character and the way that we treat each other, you know, and while you're assessing again, while you're assessing your relationships with these different people, look at the role that you're playing with each person. Are you either doing or willing to actively do what you require or what the other person requires of you? You can't have an entitlement to where you're supposed to be treated a certain way because your mama told you so, but you're not going to treat others in a way that's going to appease their souls. If it's a situation like that, you know, agree to disagree and part ways. No need for manipulation, deceit, or, you know, forcing. We have to be able to, yes, get along when we have agreements. That's easy. But what about when there are real life issues? What about when one person is hurting the other, betraying the other? Brother stabbing his brother in the back, sister stabbing her sister in the back. And we are taught to forgive, and we are taught family first. But what is the effect of these relationships truly in our lives when we don't even feel safe around our people? So we're going to just continue to go through each person, person by person. assessing who you are to them and who they are to you. Realizing if you need to stay or they need to go. And it's a process. And we here to get through it together. So I'm not going to leave you, and don't you leave me, because I'll be right back with the ChiLove radio show on Pop Radio Worldwide, iHeartRadio, and Spotify Premium. I'm back.
I done did a lot. You ain't did shit at all.
Hey, love. Thanks for staying here with me. We're back on the ChiLove radio show on Pop Radio Worldwide, iHeartRadio, and Spotify Premium. So we're talking about taking the mask off. Taking the mask off in our relationships with people. Assessing who we are around, who are in our personal circles and personal energies. So I've been giving everybody things to, just assess in your own life. At your own pace. Your voice might not matter to somebody else, but it should matter to yourself. So you take the time that you need. But I've been doing so much talking and, I'm getting so much love from my Facebook family. I just wanted to know if any of my Facebook Live people would like to call in and be added to the video if they have something to say, a question, a little advice that they want to add to give to the people. You're more than welcome to the
Repeat that. What are we doing today? What you going to do today?
I'm going to bring on my Facebook Live attendees, my Facebook love.
You're going to be live on Facebook. You're going to be live on YouTube. And you're going to definitely be live on iHeartRadio, Spotify Broadcasters channel tonight.
And it's all love and ChiLove.
Melanie,
y'all have something that y'all want to say. Y'all got some advice. You have a question. You want to just chime in. Just let me know. Hey, Steve, Tyrone, thank you all for tuning in and watching. Okay, so we're talking about the things that we should be thinking about when we're assessing our relationships with others. And sometimes you have to deal with a person in this area, but not that area. So let's say business, I can do business with you, but you're not someone that I would give relationship advice from or, tell my personal business to. And, you have to be careful of that, especially with spending a lot of time with each other. You tend to bond and everything, but sometimes you have to just keep certain relationships with certain people on a strict level, just to avoid any messiness, basically. Pay attention and listen to your own intuition when it comes to people. And a lot of people walk around cloaked. Those are the, wolves in sheep clothing. Tyrone Christopher, he chimed in and asked, what is the most important factor in the relationship? You asking me personally, I'm about love. But honestly, the most important factor is up to you. And that actually goes into one of the points that I have in my notations, like loyalty, trust, support, love. What does that mean to you on a personal basis? Because what it is you may just need to align yourself with like-minded people. Certain things other people place more value on, and you may feel like it's nothing. So a lot of times we might have to just align ourselves with like-minded people. If love is the focus, if being able to trust each other, if that loyalty in front of your face and behind your back, if those are the things that make you secure in knowing that this is what it is, and the other person has no loyalty, or you can't trust them, or you know they showing you that they don't love you or whatever, that's not going to be much of an alignment, and it's going to be a lot of conflict back and forth, because your perception of what it is different from their perception. And a lot of times wars start over perception. Now, facts are facts, and you can look at the facts, but in your mind, this means this holds this much weight to you, whereas in this person's mind, it don't hold no weight at all. So when you're having disagreements with somebody, and y'all have different perceptions, different conditionings, what then do you do? What about the respect level? Not necessarily understanding where a person is coming from, but being open to learn where they're coming from, to learn why they are coming from this perspective, you know. Learn how these actions have you know, affected the person. You know, a person could have been traumatized previously. Something that you could have did could have been traumatizing to a person, whereas you felt like it was nothing. And see, you can tell a person how they make you feel, but you can't tell them how, you know, you can't tell them how you make them feel. They're gonna tell you how you make them feel. So there needs to be respect, compassion, keeping an open mind, and being willing to let in something new, letting in a different perspective, to have an understanding of who it is that you're in the company of. And to realize if the friendship, if the relationship, if the workship, whatever is worth saving, everybody needs to open up more and be willing to hear, you know, what is really going on behind the situation. But you got to be willing to open up and let it out and share that with somebody that you say that is your friend, that is your sister, that is your man, that is your woman. You know, we all form these different type of relationships and are bonding on different levels. And we have to find ways to deal with each other in bouts of anger. You know, because I'm not going to sit up here and say, oh, when I get upset, I'm just this calm girl, baby bad. Sometimes I am and sometimes I'm not. But I will reassess the situation. I will self-reflect. I will identify, is this person a trigger for me right now, and do I need to step back? Do you like who you are in the presence of these people? Do you like who you are becoming in the energy of these people? You come into contact with people and you like, woo, I'm about to take the K-Town clean up at me. And you know, that is not in alignment to where you're trying to go. And we have to understand. And it's something that I don't understand. We are all here on the same land, whether it's east side, west side, south side, north side. The energy is here. Some people just respond quicker, but the energy is here. Like, why poke the bear? We all breathe in the same air. And that's why when stuff get to popping off, it's really popping off, because if you from Chicago and you Bishopwood, what you think your neighbor feeling like? They just might have more than you to lose, and they trying to be off on that type of stuff. But you can't just keep pressing and provoking. That's why we reflecting on self, not as any narcissistic behavior, but to put ourselves in other people's shoes. the way that I'm saying this, how would I respond if somebody came to me like this? It'd be the hardest people who could say whatever and they keep it so real, but let you rebuttal in that same energy or even greater. And all of a sudden, they feelings hurt. But you talk to people like this. You treat people like this. But you're not to be talked to like that. You're not to be treated like that. I think you need to check yourself. That bullying behavior is not acceptable from our ends and from the people that we have in our relationship. But honey, we're going to be right back. Stay tuned with the ChiLove Radio Show on Pop Radio Worldwide, iHeartRadio, and Spotify Premium.
I done did a lot. You ain't did shit at all.
Hey, love, I'm back. The ChiLove Radio Show. It's your girl, Melanie. On Pop Radio Worldwide, iHeartRadio, and Spotify Premium. So we've been talking about assessing our relationships with others. Anybody from my Facebook Live want to come on live and be on the show really quickly? Just let me know in the comments. In the meantime, in between time, we're going to go ahead and hit it. Because okay, so we looking at our people and we saying, okay, I have her right here. Maybe this is something we could salvage. Him right here, maybe not. Him right here, maybe yes. So forth, you know, you're going through your people. You're getting it in order. Right? So you decided, okay, feel like something should be done, but I'm still not all the way sure because I'm just my own little man about it. So now, because we have these relationships with others, and it's a problem between you and that person, or an issue or concern, whatever it is that you want to call it. Now we got to communicate. We can't expect anybody to be a mind reader. Everybody has their own version of life going on. So now we got to communicate. If the person is open to hearing what you have to say and is taking it seriously because you're saying, listen, I've experienced trauma by, you know, A, B, C, and D. Research says that it's not good to, you know, come out of you. You know, you did this, you. Brings up the person's defense, you know, and now they're not really hearing what you're trying to say. They're just trying to protect themselves. So the way that we communicate with others when issues occur is important. Is important because we don't want the other person to shut down. We're trying to reach a solution. You know, we're trying to get to the point of, yes, this happened, but I love you too much to hold it against you. Can we still unite? In a lot of cases, you can. If all the parties are willing to hold themselves accountable, become aware of how they made somebody else feel, be conscious in their actions moving forward. There's some conditioning when you're used to treating people certain ways, but it can definitely be done in a successful way, depending on your relationship with this person and what they mean to you. So, you know, you with the person and you reevaluate the way that, why they are in your life. And you saying, I still want to see if we can work it out. Hey, Leroy Adams. So we were talking about the communication and how important communication is. Everyone isn't good verbally, and it's good to have some knowledge of the other person because the person may not be able to verbally say what it is that they want to say without being frustrated, or they just don't even know how to express it. So maybe they're better off at writing. Maybe you can give that person the opportunity to say, okay, this is how I feel. This is what's going on with me based on your behavior or your actions or lack of action. And then give that person the opportunity to either respond back verbally. Perhaps they can write a letter. They can send you an email. They can give you a song to represent how they feel or where their head was, you know, during the time that whatever happened. There's different ways open up to being able to communicate in a variety of ways, because we are still individuals and we do have to learn to share this space together. So everybody might not communicate like you. They may have other ways of communicating. Just open up yourself to receive that information so that you can get to a solution. And sometimes the solution is to walk away. But there should be a clear understanding either way of, you know, what the bottom line is. One person should not be under the assumption that y'all are here with it and the other person is on the other side of the coin. There should always be a clear understanding of, are we going to move forward? Are we going to take a pause? I'll see you later. Do we just need to end this? So, okay, you did that. You're communicating. So you got that out the way and y'all talking about it. Hey, Chuck, hey, Stuart, y'all talking about it. And sometimes you can just, it's like how many times are you going to keep talking about it? So now let's do something to bond. Say if there was like some hurt or some trauma or something, let's do something to bond. Let me, if the last time I was in your presence, I triggered you, I hurt you some type of way, I left a negative energy in your presence, let me cover it now and put some good energy on top of it. Let me make a good memory for you. Let me impact your energy in a good way so that the last time that you that you thought of me, now it's not in the sense of, yes, you still remember that person did it, but now it's a fresher memory of greater vibrations, more positive vibrations. You can't tell a person how long they're supposed to be angry from something or be hurt or whatever. But yes, you can try to replay that moment. Let's you know, to get too heated, let's stop. Let's start over. Let's try to remake this memory. Let's try to create a memory that's in good vibrations, that's in genuineness and sincerity. So, okay, you bonding. Cut out external influences. You know how people say keep folks out your business. I'm just going to leave you right there. Forgive each other. That's easier said than done with certain situations. Hey, Patricia. That's easier said than done to just forgive somebody who has caused you trauma, who has hurt you, has betrayed you, who has committed treason in your eyes. And it's a process. But sooner or later, it must be done for yourself. Because you know what type of energy that creates within yourself. It manifests physical sickness. Your concentration is off. Like, it really impacts your own life in such a negative way. So over time, you know, open up yourself to forgiving the situation, and then, you know, trying to put together some type of way to make it so that this won't happen to you again. Protect yourself more. Knowing that a person who wants to change can actually change if they want to. But in the meantime, you got to make sure this star player is intact. So you'll get to the point where you're forgiving. You know, we talked about holding yourself accountable and setting boundaries and saying, okay, if we're going to continue this needs not to happen, this needs to happen. All parties should be in agreement and be actively and consciously aware of it. So you're gonna go through that, and you're gonna you can, you know, stop playing games. Put your pride up. and work on what you say you want to work on with that person. If you could fix the situation, fix the situation. And I'm fixing to be right back with the ChiLove Radio Show on Pop Radio Worldwide, iHeartRadio, and Spotify Premium.
Stop back.
I done did a lot. You ain't did shit at all.
Hey, love, welcome back to the ChiLove Radio Show. We rounding it on up, baby. It's all love and ChiLove, and we talking about analyzing our relationships with others. We're talking about accessing each individual that we deem as our people, the people that we have relationships with who are impacting our souls and our energies. Hey, Anthony Bone. And we were talking about the type of things to ask ourselves to evaluate these people. And evaluate ourselves as well as far as what we're doing in the role that we're playing. And we were talking about ways to salvage a relationship. Now we got to talk about certain little triggers and signs that may be strong indicators that it's time to let it go. So when are we to really consider letting it go? When you don't like who you are becoming. That is a red flag. Especially when it's like consistency. When there is no equity in effort. It's one-sided. You're doing the brunt of everything. You dropping weight. They're not putting in any effort to even bring crumbs. When you don't feel loved, you know what feels like love to you. Hey, Flint. When you love them, but you don't like who they are. Don't you know that's very possible, Aaron Johnson? You can love a person and not like who they are. How many of us got some of the people in our lives where it's like, you know, and it could be blood. And it's like, I love so-and-so, but we are. It's like that sometimes. In that case, depending on the circumstances of the situation, depending on the details, which you know what's going on, you and that person, it might just be a thing of, some space needed. I see you when I see you. Or, it's time to cut ties and just continue to move on. When the negatives outweigh the positives, that's a strong indicator that, some changes may need to be made and somebody might need to hit the exit. You cannot get that time back. You already have to heal from whatever trauma the situation, brought on you. And then you didn't even have to heal from that had that not even been occurring. And then if it's constant to where you can't even completely heal from the first incident before something new is happening, that's a red flag. You are starting to physically feel ill. Manifest your back hurting all of a sudden, your neck, your body's tight, you're depressed, you're going through mood swings. That's a strong indicator, Dion, that maybe it's time to let go. Are you trying to work it out with a person, but they're constantly lying? You're working it out by yourself, lovely Brown. How can you work anything out when it's a two-party or more situation and you're the only one working? And you're trying to put everything on the table so that you can deal with it, face it. But they're constantly lying and not holding themselves accountable and hoping that, okay, you know about this part, but you don't know about this part. But the soul knows. Y'all just not on the same page. If the person is selfish and unwilling to change, Tyrone, and they do not see the harm in their behavior, to where they can literally see the wounds, but not feel like they are held accountable in the situation? How can there be any positive change if a person does not see the wrong in what they're doing? And when you want to look at that, look at the fruits of the situation. How did your behavior, what did your behavior interaction ultimately lead to? That's the type of stuff that like you could look at to see, like, should I stay doing this, or maybe I should stop doing this? Poor communication. If a person doesn't want to talk, or anytime you start to talk is immediate, you know, explosions and stuff, you know, how are you going to come to any type of agreement? And sometimes you may, if you notice, a lot of this stuff was triggers for the self. If you're feeling like I need to jump ship and save myself, that is a very strong indicator that it's time to go ahead and let it go. Because you need, at this point, you need to save yourself. When we should be feeding each other and helping to save each other while we're saving ourselves. And while we're helping each other save ourselves, I'm going to give you all some hotline self-help numbers. We're going to start again with the suicide prevention number. Hey, Loretta, Travis, and Jamaris. The suicide prevention number is 1-800-273-8255. Again, the suicide prevention number is 1-800-273-8255. We also have the domestic violence hotline, 1-800-799-7233. 1-800-799-SAFE. The word SAFE. 799-SAFE.
We want to take a quick moment, ChiLove, Miss Melanie, to thank you here at the radio station for being such an empowering system, bringing so much awareness. Being with us another week of and giving us such a great show. So thank you for bringing so much awareness and education for any sisters or anybody going through some stuff that might need some help, for at least offering them the tools and numbers where they can actually get some help. Thank you.
Yeah, anytime. It's all love and ChiLove. And thanks for having me. So if you got issues with alcohol, 1-800-662-HELP. And those help is 4357. Love you too, Tyrone. Girls in Boys Town National Hotline. So a lot of our youth, you know, don't really feel like they have anybody that they can talk to, or they're ashamed to tell certain people, because, you know, when you've been raised a certain way, you don't want to go back to your people and be like, I'm in this situation, you know. So sometimes you need somebody else to talk to. And that number is 1-800-448-3000. Now, if there's not a crisis, but you just want to talk, you can hit the warm line, Illinois Mental Health Collaboration, at 1-866-359-7953. And on that note, family, I enjoyed this hour with you all. It's all love and ChiLove. I'll see you next Monday on the ChiLove Radio Show on Pop Radio Worldwide, iHeartRadio, and Spotify Premium.
I'm back.
I done did a lot. You ain't did shit at all.
Hey, love. Thanks for tuning in to the ChiLove Radio Show on Pop Radio Worldwide, iHeartRadio, and Spotify Premium. Tonight we were talking about analyzing our relationships with others. It's 2020. We're taking the mask off everything. But we're definitely going to start with the self first. Join us next week as we'll continue to dwell further into this. All in the name of love.